Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This is Eisenherz, and in today's episode of the self-dismantling of cEDH, we're going to talk about a recent cheating incident and a shamefully lackluster reaction by the judges and tournament organizers. I really didn't want to talk about more cheating incidents because I already made a lengthy video on that, and I don't think there's a lot more we can learn from watching more cheaters cheat, but a lot of you guys asked me to comment on it, so here are my 2 cents on the situation. Let's start by watching a clip of what happened and afterwards talk about the judges and tournament organizers' reactions to it. Notice how the deck is already cut when the screen turns on. Now look at their top deck. It never changes. Even when they cut the deck, they cut from the bottom, so the top doesn't change. When the numbers are called for the Brazilian cut, they do not mark their piles, meaning it's not clear which pile is 1 and which is 3. This gives them a 66% chance of putting the stacked cards on top of their library. As long as the opponents don't call for pile 2, they're good. Right here their hand leaves the screen for about 15 seconds, and unsurprisingly they keep their first 7. And oh wonder, they have a turn 1 Oracle plus Demonic Consultation win with Force of Will and a blue card to pitch to protect their win attempt. The exact 8 cards you need to win on turn 1 with protection. Alright, so this obviously was extremely fishy and the players immediately reported it to the judges. Luckily, the game was recorded and the judges looked into it. You'd assume that with cheating this obvious, the player would immediately get DQ'd. But no, they didn't. The judges issued a warning for insufficient shuffling, which is of course absolutely absurd, because a warning for insufficient shuffling only applies if it was done unintentionally. This, however, was clearly intentional, as anyone with 2 functioning brain cells and a single functioning eye can tell. Now, there are 4 points of view in this situation: the cheater, the opponents, the judges, and the tournament organizers. Cheaters are going to cheat. We won't stop them from cheating. The only thing we can do is make it harder for them to cheat, enforce rules without compromise, and implement harsh, on-the-spot penalties for breaking any of those rules. Opponents need to be more aware of potential cheating. I see too many players giggling and laughing, chatting and relaxing when they should be focused and ready. Of course, you should be having fun, you should be enjoying the tournament, and the social aspect of the game is relevant for politicking, but this is still a tournament, and you need to do your part. Be attentive, enforce rules, don't allow sloppy plays, record the games, and call a judge if you need one. In this situation, the players at least record the game and call the judge. It's hard to multitask like that, but that's one of the things you have to learn as a tournament player. Judges must be more strict. The standard IPG doesn't apply to EDH, so there is a special one for cEDH tournaments. Well, maybe that special cEDH IPG can apply to webcam tournaments, and there needs to be an even stricter version for those. It's not that there is no cheating in in-person tournaments, but webcam tournaments allow for much more subtle and new ways of cheating. If judges want to protect the integrity of these tournaments, they need to be totally uncompromising with enforcing the tournament rules. There is no way around it, because some people will always ruin the fun for everyone else. When obvious cheating like this has no major repercussions, it actually makes me wonder if judges are even able to reliably detect and call out cheating in webcam events. It seems to me that sometimes they aren't. However, just this Saturday there was an incident that I want to highlight as the correct way to handle questionable situations in webcam tournaments. A very reputable cEDH tournament grinder, who's also a very good friend of mine, was DQ'd for stalling. And in my opinion, that was absolutely the right call. They went to their end step, saw that there were only 20 seconds left on the clock, and asked an opponent to activate their Thrasios. When the opponent declined, the player sacrificed their Tinderwall just to take one more game action and run down the clock to secure a draw. The head judge saw this, took them to a private call, asked them what they were planning on doing with the floating mana, asked them to reveal their hand, and when it was clear that there were no valid game actions for the player to take, the head judge issued a DQ for stalling. This is how it should be done. Judges need to be super strict in these events, and I think it's a great thing that the head judge did not shy away from DQing someone with a ton of clout in the community. The integrity of the tournament and the format matters way more than a single reputable player. The only reason this leaves a very bad aftertaste with me is that while this situation was rightfully called out as stalling and penalized with a DQ, the very obvious shuffle cheating last week was only penalized with a warning, and the cheating player was not even banned from any future tournaments. And this leads me to the final point of view. The tournament organizers need to rework their whole approach on these events. They really need to ask themselves if they want to put out a half-assed tournament every weekend or actually create a good tournament for their players. Apparently, we can't trust the integrity of some players, and they will continue to ruin the fun for everyone else unless tournament organizers enforce new policies. It's just not enough to show your playmat and the edge of the table. It's not enough to issue warnings for breaking rules. It's not enough to ask players to record games and be attentive. The tournament organizers need to get their shit together if they want webcam tournaments to be taken seriously in the future. I really don't want to hate on online tournaments. I actually think they are a great addition for the global cEDH community. But the way cheating has been undermining the integrity of these events for the last year, and the absolutely lackluster and inconsistent way these incidents have been handled by judges, as well as the absolutely incomprehensible way TOs are dealing with cheaters, has turned webcam events into a total farce. I mean, instead of outright banning cheaters for life, TOs are having deeply personal conversations with them and are being swayed by whatever sad story those cheaters dish them as an excuse for their behavior. This just can't be real, and at this point, I'm totally over it. Personally, I can't recommend anyone participating in webcam tournaments anymore. I'd actually go as far as to call for a boycott of these tournaments until TOs and judges step up their game. Implement new policies, make online tournaments valid again, and stop being the laughingstock of competitive MTG. Thank you for watching my videos. This is Eisenherz and auf Wiedersehen.